Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and for the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Before I pray, there's just a couple words I want to share about a song that was written several years ago. It's called God of this City. It says, you're the God of this city. You're the light in this darkness. You're the hope to the hopeless. You're the peace to the restless. You are, for greater things have yet to come, and greater things are still to be done in this city. Will you pray with me? Father, you are God of this city, the city of Buckeye. First, let me say thank you on behalf of all who are gathered here today. Thank you for the many and abundant blessings that you've already poured out on our local community. We do believe even greater things are yet to come from your generous, gracious, loving hand as we follow you and live in obedience to your ways. We invite you to this gathering here this morning. I pray for those who are in the offices that govern the city. Guide them as they make wise decisions, which are always in the best interest of the community. God, please bless the men and women who faithfully serve our city government. Mayor Meck, our city council, commissioners, city employees, all elected officials, and certainly those who put themselves in harm's way, such as our law enforcement, firefighters, and EMS workers. We pray for your protection, provision, and prosperity over the residents, over the businesses, over the schools of our community. Thank you that Buckeye is a place where families flourish and faith can be growing, abundant, and authentic. We're grateful for the churches and many other nonprofits who resource and serve the needs of this community. Guide us in our future upcoming endeavors as a city with the victories, opportunities, and challenges that come our way. We admit we need your wisdom, your leading, and the assurance of your presence every step of the way. Once again, bless this time you have appointed for us to gather on this day. We pray these things together to you, the God of this city. And in this Easter season, we pray in the powerful risen name of Jesus. Amen.
Wow. This all for you? Was there free breakfast? Good morning. I'm Bob Bemet, Chief Nuclear Officer of Palo Verde. Palo Verde, the largest clean air energy source in the United States of America. Kind of sounds good, doesn't it? And I get to introduce my friend Jackie Meck this morning. And it's kind of hard. I could read you the things that he's engaged with. I won't. I just want to talk about Jackie Meck, the man. You know, we brought him out to the plant and toured the plant, and I showed him my office, and I'm pretty proud of my office because it looks out over 4,200 megawatts being generated, and I thought it was the greatest view out of an office in the state and maybe in the country. Jackie said, "Can you see where you were born?" I said, "No." I said, "It's not all that good of an office, and I can see where I was born." And so, you know, Jackie's looking at it, and he's talking about the tax base, and I said, "Jackie, we're not really part of your tax base." "Not yet, but you know, we've got this annexation plan, and it goes along the pipeline, and so I love Jackie because Jackie is always looking at the future. And when you look at the future of this city, it's impressive. In 2050, we'll have right around 500,000 people. That's 31 years, if I can do the math. It's impressive of the vision. I get to work with Jackie, Diane McCarthy, Todd Hornback, and a few others on the White Tank Mountain Conservancy Board. And Jackie is helping as we grow the city, but also how do we protect the corridors and make sure that the White Tank Mountains are always full of animals, and we have the ability to have our grandchildren see what deer look like when we're out eating, or when we're living in the houses in Buckeye that haven't been built yet. And so Jackie is Jackie is not only looking at how to grow the city, how to be part of the larger Maricopa County, which is the fastest growing county in the United States of America. Isn't that cool? I just went to my hometown in Eastern Oregon, population 1,500. When I grew up, it had a population of 1,500. Only difference is now all the buildings in the town are boarded up. They're closed. And the difference between Buckeye and where I grew up is leadership. It's leadership that has a vision and that can put a plan together and can bring people together to work together to make things happen. That's the difference. And that difference is that the man that is getting ready to come up here and speak to us, my friend, Mayor Jackie Meck. Jackie?
You never know what he's going to say, so I always sit there and shudder because of it. They're extremely good friends of ours. This is a great turnout. It's a testament to you because of the city of Buckeye, and I appreciate all of you coming. Thank you for being here. Let me say before I go to my remarks, and that's what Annie, she's the one that kind of lines me up and puts the wires on and such, is I have a tendency to what I call chase rabbits. And what that means is I can be reading the prompter and I'm liable to go off on another tangent. Annie's back there shaking. Robin is running this machine right here that's supposed to be what I'm reading, and she shakes because she's got to find out where I am or where's he going. It's not in her script. So you have to condemn me, not them. Let me say this up front so you understand. Up front, Buckeye today, we are 640 square miles. Compare that to Phoenix, which is 500 square miles. I maintain Buckeye is too big to be little. We're too little to be big. So right now, what you're going to hear in my remarks, bear in mind that we are only 5% developed. 5% of 640 square miles. Buckeye, in another 50 or 100 years, we're projected to be somewhere around 1.5 and 1.8 million people. That's huge. Council today can't look at today and tomorrow. Council today has to look 50 to 100 years down the road. I can assure you we're preparing. This council is good. They're the best council that I've been a part of, and this is roughly my 22nd year in government in the city of Buckeye. I've never had any other place that I would rather be than in Buckeye, in politics in Buckeye. If I'm referred to as a politician, I really take that as an affront because I don't consider myself a politician. I consider myself a resident of Buckeye that wants to see Buckeye grow. We are growing. Two of my most favorite spots in Buckeye is the White Tank Mountains, which is a skyline park, and this little school that's starting just to the south here is called Meck. Those are contributors to Buckeye. When I retire, if and when I ever do, my goal is to work on the river and open space and the Meck. I want to see those develop because they will help our kids in the future. So Annie, you can relax a little bit. I will stop right there. So we have some very special people here today. I'm hoping that I don't miss any, and as I'm talking, she's adding to more and more coming up. So if I miss somebody, I apologize. But first of all, I want to introduce my wife of 57 years, Verlene Meck. My son-in-law, Buck Fossio, his wife, my daughter, Sarah. And then there's a young man, Mayor Jackson Fossio. That's Mayor Jackson Fossio, and he's a fifth grader, and he was out of school this morning to hear Grandpa speak. So thank you for coming, and you look great. Okay. Good morning, and thank you, Bob, for that wonderful introduction. You make me sound good. But in all honesty, you speak the truth about how great our city is. Thank you. Thank you, Bob. I need to thank Bob also and everybody at Palo Verde for this breakfast this morning, for hosting our State of the Event again this year, and serving up another delicious breakfast this morning. Again, thank you. He did mention that I'm in the process of trying to convince him to let me, Buckeye, City of Buckeye, and when I say I and me, I apologize. It's not I and me. It's City Council, City Hall, City Buckeye, not just me. So what I'm doing, I mentioned to him I would love to annex Palo Verde Nuclear. They only pay $500 million a year in taxes, and that would help me do some things I would like to do. So that's what he was referring to. In the same vein, Mayor Carlett from Peoria, and I'll get in there in just a minute, I've been talking to her for about 10 years now saying, I want to annex Lake Pleasant. That's in Peoria. And obviously she's shaking her head no. Bob Beamont told me no. Bob Beamont, Mayor Carlett, has told me no. And then also Mayor George Lord couldn't be with us this morning, but I told her I want to annex the west half of 303. Guess what she said? No. So a combination of no, 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 no's. But I keep asking. Someday they're going to get so tired, Mayor, you're going to say, you can have the lake. I'm tired of you asking for it. So I'm not above and beyond asking for anything. I'm used to being told no. That's okay, because we're growing and I love it. All right, please join me in also thanking my colleagues on the City Council. My thanks as well to all the other dignitaries here today. Vice Mayor Eric Osborne, if you'd hold your applause, let me get all of our council. Vice Mayor Osborne, Council Member Craig Hustis, Council Member Patrick Hagestad, Council Lady Michelle Hess, and Council Lady Janine Guy, Council Member Tony Yonker. Would you please stand? This is your City Council. I would like to introduce James Shano, Assistant Manager. James, where are you? Over here. Okay, thank you for being here. Louis Falcon from Congressman Grijalva's office. Louis. Austin Kennedy with Senator McSally's office. Austin, where are you? Hello, hello, hello. Back here. Austin is a very, very good friend of ours, and I'll tell you why. He was with Senator McCain for years, and I cannot thank Senator McCain enough. Bless his heart, and he's passed away, but enough for what he has done for the Salt Cedars, which goes through Buckeye, Avondale, Goodyear. He really carried the torch for the city of Buckeye, Avondale, and Goodyear. So I really, really appreciate Austin. He has moved in with McSally's office, but he continues to help us do what we need to do with the Salt Cedars. So I appreciate that. Another champion of ours, Congressman Gosar's office, Penny Pugh. Where are you, Penny? Penny? We have our own Senator Kerr, right here. Okay. Mayor Alexa Hermosillo, City of El Mirage. Can you believe mayors are so pretty and you have to look at me? Representative Tim Dunn. Councilman Laura Cano, City of Goodyear. Thank you, Laura. Mayor Kathy Carlett, owner of my lake. City of Peoria. Mayor Anna Tovar, Tolleson. You see what I'm saying about beauty and you have to look at me? I'm sorry. Okay, Vice Mayor Bridget Benschauer from City of Peoria. Mayor Everett Cycles from town of Wickenburg. Mayor, thank you. It's an honor to be here today and serve as your mayor. I'm happy to report the state of City of Buckeye is excellent. The Buckeye City Council and I are very pleased with the direction the city is moving. Our focus for this year is to build on our successes, stay strong, and continue improving the quality of life for our residents. We have sound financial management, excellent planning for our future, and leadership that is committed to finding solutions, and that's a good thing. I think most of you know I was born and raised here in Buckeye, and I have to point out these pictures behind me here staff did. That is Buckeye that I grew up in. And earlier, Bob mentioned that I can look out my office and see where I was born. That is correct. I've lived now the farthest I've lived ever since I was born, from where I was physically born to where I live today, which is roughly 10 air miles from where I was physically born. I love this community, and I work for the community, you as residents. That's what I'm here for. But what you see here, I grew up with, and back then they said there was 1,200 people. That was in roughly 1941 to 45. I was born in 41. So what difference does that make? Back then, we said there was 1,200 people. I say, if there was 1,200 people, a lot of those counted were dogs, chickens, and cats. I don't remember Buckeye being 1,200. But I was allowed to go downtown barefoot and without shirts. If I got into trouble, I had 1,200 parents. So I have good roots because of that. I grew up in the old times, what people can refer to now. Some people ask me, was I really born before the earth? No. No, but Buckeye's 125 years old today, roughly. And I'm 78, so that means I'm roughly almost 3/4 as old as the city of Buckeye. That's not a very good comparison, but the point is I have seen lots of things. And it's amazing what I see in the future. I don't have all the answers. Council doesn't have all the answers, but we're doing everything that we can in order to make things happen. So the city of Buckeye is much different today than it was just 20 years ago. In the year 2000, Buckeye's population was 6,537 population. Today, we're over 80,000, and we're growing every day. Again, remember, Buckeye is only developed 5% of 640 square miles. That's big. You can take other communities and set them in Buckeye, and there's still space. Tremendous, awesome responsibilities that we have. And we need all the help that we can get, and we're trying to do that as we build parks, open spaces, etc. Also, in the year 2000, our town annual budget was $8.5 million. And I thought that was a lot of money. $8.5 million. Today, it's $257 million budget. $257 million. That's awesome. That is unbelievable. And we're still balanced, and things are still moving forward. That includes a $94 million project, what we call the Broadway Road Water Campus. That's currently under construction. Back in 2000, we maintain approximately 155 miles of roads. 155 miles of roads. This year, we are maintaining over 1,300 miles of road, 1,300 miles of road. 20 years ago, Buckeye had approximately 100 employees. In 2019, there are just over 500 employees working for you, our residents. And I'd like to take a minute to have our staff and all of our employees, there's some firemen in the back and such, I can't see everybody, but all of our employees and city staff, please stand. Okay. That's awesome because they're driving the ship. We as council are setting policy, but they are working, they have bought in to the process, and that's why this community is growing like it is. The biggest difference between when I was growing up or even 20 years ago is that we just, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, we just keep getting better. We just keep getting better. We're advancing our future with new infrastructure and improving city services. We're also holding on to and celebrating our roots. When we look back in 5, 10, or 20 years, I know we'll be thrilled with what we've accomplished, quote, back then, unquote, and be just as excited about what the future of Buckeye holds for us. Watch this.
A big part of history in the development of the West Valley is right through the middle of Buckeye. The railroad moved west from Phoenix and came right through Buckeye, which really gave a building boom to Buckeye in 1910. And of course, I-10 came through years later, turning Buckeye into the city that it is today, always moving forward. One of the biggest staples of Buckeye was its agriculture, and of course cotton was at the center of that. And that farmland is still supporting generations of families that are still living in Buckeye today. When you come through Buckeye and you check out its past, you're going to see the downtown charm in its buildings, and these buildings are still here. The Palms Bar is no longer there, but this building is there as Cafe 2535, a great place to come have breakfast or lunch here in Buckeye. People that went to school in this schoolhouse in the late 1800s, who grew up as first graders together, went to school together, got married, their multi-generational families are still living in Buckeye today, and to think that their lives started in this one-room schoolhouse. A standing appointment that every kid in Buckeye had was 2 o'clock Saturday afternoon. You would go to the Roxy and you would go and sit in these seats with your brothers, sisters, and all your cousins and your friends. Today, City Hall stands where the memories of the Roxy Theater act as a reminder that Buckeye is ever-changing and evolving into the future version of itself. Buckeye continues to build upon opportunities now to provide for its residents for generations to come. New housing developments, shopping centers, and streets. Facilities to provide high-quality water and service to homes and businesses. Public safety with a new fire station and police evidence building on the drawing board. and a community park set to expand by 40 acres in the future. All of Buckeye's priorities and plans are in constant motion. Then and now, where Buckeye's remarkable past blends into the city's here and now, setting the tone for a very promising future.
What do you think of that? To add to that, we currently have an emergency center in Buckeye, Abrazo. Our new leader of Abrazo, I happen to be on the board, a proud member of the board of Abrazo Hospital, Christina O. She is our new, please stand up. You drove all the way from your office here this morning, so the least you can do is stand up. And she'll never let me introduce her again, I'm sure. But she had just come on board with the Abrazo Hospital. Years ago, a guy named Bruce Hayden. Where's Bruce Hayden? Bruce Hayden, where are you? Stand up, Bruce Hayden. Bruce Hayden and I were on a committee to get a hospital or a medical facility here because Buckeye did not have anything between the Colorado River and Buckeye. We did not have any place. Abrazo Hospital built the one on Watson, and that one in the very beginning, pardon me? Oh, I thought somebody said something. On Watson, and what Watson did is when I asked the guy named Stan Holmes that was the director, how many people do you anticipate will be using the emergency center when it opens? And he said, we would be tickled to death if we have 10 people, 10 patients. They started on, the first day was like 50. Since then, it's 25,000 a year has been going through that. So thank you, even though you weren't here, Abrazo Hospital, for being here for us now. So thank you again for coming. One of Buddha's most famous quotes fits nicely for Buckeye today. Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate on the present moment. Thanks to our city leadership, Buckeye had many successes in 2018 because we focused on the here and now with a vision for tomorrow. We are currently listed as the 5th fastest growing city in the United States of America. Amazing. Number 5 over 50,000, which is really shining the spotlight on us. Employers and retail businesses are taking notice too. Attracting good jobs to the city is one of our highest priorities. The vast majority of our residents have to leave the city every morning to travel to jobs in the East Valley or back toward the east. We anticipate at least 90% of our people go east every morning. We want to stop that. We want people to live, work, and play in Buckeye. That's our foremost goal. So we're strongly committed to attracting new jobs to Buckeye. Over the past few months, we have seen many successes, and I'd like to point out a few. And again, let me remind you that what we have coming now is we, the City Council, we are building a city from absolutely scratch. Think about that. We are building a city from scratch. We didn't start with a large community of only 1,200 dogs, chickens, and cats and humans. We started from nothing. And we right now are 80,000, 5% is developed. So when people say, well, how come you think it's good to have a Circle K or a Taco Bell or whatever? That's the beginning of building a city. That comes. And when I've talked to people to come to Buckeye, and I'm not above or beyond asking anybody, come and build in Buckeye. Because we want jobs here for our people. We want them to live, work, and play here. Very shortly, Cardinal Glass will start on a major expansion of their facility. They'll be adding another 100 to 150 to 200 employees by this time next year. That's a big, big, big plus. It's a spark that starts the forest fire that develops communities. We have neighbors to the east of us, the Goodyear, Avondale, Tolleson, all the way in the West Valley, Peoria, Surprise, El Mirage. They're all growing. We're not jealous because that helps us. That gets jobs closer. That gets development that falls off of them. I call it the crumbs off the table. Come this direction. We are growing a city from scratch. If you drive around, you'll see some houses, but you'll see a lot more farmland. You're going to see, we will see a lot more desert. You will see lots more things going on. Even though we have grown like we have, we are building a city from scratch. And we're open for people to come. We're pleased to have another great new business to Buckeye. It's called Parker Fasteners. Parker manufactures precision parts for aerospace and industrial application. My wife often has asked me, did you ever think that you would see Buckeye be the size that it is or growing the way it is? Did you ever even think you would be a mayor? No, I never thought any of that. I've just always been around. My dad was a judge in Buckeye for 30 years. He died in 1970, so I grew up under him, going to every kind of a business, every kind of a commercial, not commercial, but a Chamber of Commerce, to different boards and commissions. Dad was on all of them. I went with him, so that's where I got my background. So through that, that's why we push as hard as we do. So did I ever think we would have, quote, unquote, aerospace in Buckeye? I flew an airplane. That certainly wouldn't be qualified as aerospace. But that's a big thing for Buckeye. They're coming in. They'll be moving into an existing building near Baseline and Highway 85 later this year. Parker also plans to expand over time. They will be ramping up operations over the next several years and expect to ultimately employ over 100 people. Parker Fasteners is just the type of company we love to see moving to Buckeye. Another major expansion will be with our friends at Arizona Public Service. Again, I'm trying to annex Palo Verde Nuclear because $500 million that they pay in taxes. I don't want it all. The county and the state can have some of that. But I'd like to have the bulk of it for Buckeye, so I keep coming at you, Bob. I'm going to keep coming at you until either you or I don't have any time left. So APS will be building a regional service center at Baseline Road and State Route 85. That will employ more than 200 people. That is a big deal. Big deal. We have APS right here in our neighborhood with their employees. They currently are building electrical infrastructure for the future. They're here. They're going to be here this coming fall, and they'll start building this regional facility. Big deal. That is going to have them available, so hopefully I can call Bob and say, Bob, I have a light bulb out in my house. Can you have somebody come and change it? And he probably is going to say no, the same as he's saying about me actually annexing Palo Verde Nuclear. If this gets in the paper, Bob, I apologize, but I'm serious. I would love to have APS in Buckeye. Buckeye has several electrical projects underway to provide reliable electricity for our growing demand, including the new substation at State Route 85 site scheduled to be energized in 2020. Several smaller employees have also recently committed to moving to Buckeye, including BioGrow. They're a fertilizer manufacturing company who recently purchased land near Johnson Road and Baseline. Arizona Water Company, who will be occupying space at Sundance Center. We also have a company that's involved in vehicle testing. I can't tell you who they are yet, But when the time comes and they say we can say who they are, then obviously we'll say. But right now, stay tuned for that announcement. There are 4 additional companies in the process of locating here in Buckeye. Again, we have to sign what's called NDA, non-disclosure agreements, NDAs rather, that says we cannot say what it is. So I have a tendency to try to impress everybody. Something's coming to Buckeye, like Lake Pleasant from Peoria. I want to mention that one more time, Mayor. So we'll announce those as soon as we can. The Buckeye Airport is playing a big role in the city's economic development. Are you aware that Buckeye has an airport? We can land business jets on the airport. Last year, we had our first fixed-base operator in over a decade open for business at the airport. It's called the Performance Air Group. They're an established aircraft maintenance, avionics, and aircraft management company. They are also now providing jet fuel to our customers. Do you know that that airport is 700 acres? Did you know that the city of Buckeye owns that 700 acres? Did you know that if we build that like we can and should and would and could in the future, that it will be a major airport because we're outside of the Sky Harbor influence? We can do what we want. We want to make sure always, and let me underline that always, that Luke Air Force Base is sitting at the table when we talk about anything we do on that airport. There is no way that we ever want to affect Luke Air Force Base. They too are very good friends of ours. I refer to Luke Air Force Base and Palo Verde Nuclear as bookends on the east end and the west side of Buckeye. Both of them have employees here. They have people here. We want those to be successful with us. So that's part of our plan with the airport. If we can develop the airport and 500 or 600 acres around it, that will be a major, major commercial industrial site. Interstate 11, you've seen a little bit about that. It just came out last week about the alignments, and that's part of what we'll be working with, not only today, but in the future. We're hoping that with our governmental people in the federal government, our senators and congressmen, that they will expedite that I-11. That's a big thing for the valley, especially Buckeye. Then we have a service, the Performance Air Group. I want to thank you, and I'll get to you all in just a minute. Skydive Buckeye is growing their business at the airport as well. Recently purchased a second aircraft and hired additional jump instructors just to keep up with the demand. Northwest Sky Sports is also now located at the Buckeye Airport. They provide glider flights over our beautiful Arizona landscape. It's an amazing experience to soar through the air and view the Buckeye Valley. Another tenant at the airport this year is Spur and Rotor, a helicopter operation that is owned and operated by 2 Buckeye residents. They've already invested significant money in a commercial hangar and currently have aircraft on site. I'd like to ask all of the businesses I just mentioned that are seated in the 4th row, please stand. Thank you for bringing your business. All right. Thank you for coming to Buckeye. You betcha. That's what we like, and for coming today. Thank you very much. Finally, we cannot say enough about our partnership with Copper State Fly-In, who partnered with us for the Buckeye Airfare earlier this year. With their connections, they put Buckeye and the airfare on the map. It made our event, the Buckeye event, the 3rd largest fly-in in the country. Thank you, Copper State. Where are you? I can't see. Okay. They brought in 30,000 people, and it's going to be bigger next year. The city's Catalyst program continues to revitalize downtown area. Snap Fitness is a role model for making the most of this program. They took advantage of this great opportunity and just opened their new location downtown historic Buckeye, only a few blocks from their original location. We're also poised to become the home to a variety of companies in the advanced manufacturing and technology industry. We're committed to bringing new employment opportunities to our residents. On the retail side, the intersection of Yuma and Watson and McDowell and Broadway, they're booming. New hotels, coffee shops, retail stores, restaurants, and medical center are all parts of Yuma and Watson. Up the street, right from here at McDowell and Broadway, there's a rows of pizza, there's Taco Bell, Starbucks, Verizon, a dentist, a veterinarian are either open or will be open shortly. Again, there's several additional retailers or service providers we're currently working with who will be making announcements shortly. We know our residents want and need to shop in their own community, close to their homes. So we're focused on attracting all types of new business and retail opportunities to the city. Buckeye will continue to attract new businesses, create jobs, and provide a variety of housing opportunities that improve our quality of life for our residents for years to come. Speaking of housing, the city of Buckeye continues to attract new residents. The average number of single-family residential permits issued each month in 2019 is more than 200 per month. With so many people moving to Buckeye, we're proactively working to ensure our infrastructure is operating properly and can grow with us. I'll quote Margaret Thatcher on the importance of infrastructure, and I quote, "You and I come road or rail, but economists travel on infrastructure," unquote. Last year, Buckeye launched its first official 5-year capital improvement program. This helped us identify and prioritize our current and future needs for infrastructure improvement throughout the city. So far, the Earl Edgar Recreational Facility, the city's oldest park, now has new lights and irrigation system in the sports field, upgraded restrooms and basketball court. There are new sidewalks in downtown Buckeye, where I was born, which are improving pedestrian safety. Design concept for much-needed Tartesso Fire Station is complete. I point out here that in Buckeye, we have 6 fire stations. They're scattered out from Buckeye, downtown, all the way to Sun City Festival, which is 40 miles northwest. We also have them downtown in Tartesso, also in Sundance, and this one is being built in Tartesso. They should be finalized this summer, our construction plan. Construction will be completed by the end of 2020. The Roosevelt Improvement District between here and the freeway is taking shape. Sewer and water lines are installed. Paving is complete. Traffic signals at both Van Buren and Roosevelt were turned on last month. These new traffic signals will relieve congestion on Yuma Road and provide a safe exit for the West Meck students, which is this facility just to the south here. Buckeye's biggest CIP project in history is the Broadway Road Water Campus. Work started this year on a new transmission line along Apache Road that will connect to this facility. This is water new homes and businesses can tap into now. When the first phase of the water campus is complete, it will produce better quality water, is designed to expand quickly to meet demand, as both residential and retail development expands in that area. In that particular area, right now, today, there is over 15,000 lots planned and zoned along that area of Apache Road. That's a big, big, big chunk of land, and that's using it pretty simple, But that's a lot of development that can happen, and that's what we're doing with this. The first phase of this campus is scheduled to be operational by 2020, fully operational by 2022. I know that seems a long way off, but that's just a few years from now, and time flies. Again, it's our biggest, largest public works project in the city of Buckeye's history. The cost, again, is $94 million. Another important project is the new state-of-the-art police evidence building currently in design. The first phase is 15,000 square feet with the ability to grow with the city. It's located in historic downtown Buckeye. It will serve the police department for decades to come, provides even better customer service to our residents. Sundance Park at Rainbow Road and Lower Buckeye. It's one of the most versatile parks in the city. It's set to expand over the next few years. We received some great input from our residents last summer on what they would like to see for the Phase 2 expansion. And as funding becomes available, we will build the most popular amenities. Of course, Skyline Park, the one I love to talk about, is just north of Interstate 10 and Watson Road. It gets better every year. We've added a few more miles of trails, expanded our outdoor classes. We set another attendance record for 2018. The first year of operation, 3 years ago, the park had 200,000 hikers. Last year, 2 years ago, 280,000 hikers. Last year, 300,000 plus. Amazing, but it is a beautiful, beautiful park. So please, if you haven't seen it, go see it, go walk on it. You can ride horses on it, etc. It's a 7% increase over 2017. Take a look for yourself. Bob mentioned that we are on a committee with White Tank Mountain Conservancy Trust, and in the process of putting that trust and working to where it is today, we have as our partners Peoria, and I give her a lot of static sometimes, but thank you for being a part of us. Surprise, Peoria, Youngtown, Goodyear, and Buckeye have all come together to make preserve that park. We want wilderness corridors, as Bob had mentioned, going from the park to the mountains to the west and obviously all the way to Gila Bend, 40 miles south. The wilderness corridors are important to keep those animals that are in the white tanks and have been there for years for people to be able to see them. So thank you, the cities, West Valley cities. We're all closer together than in my 20-plus years of being on the city council in Buckeye than any West Valley mayors have ever been before. And I really appreciate them being a part of it, not only in the White Tank Conservancy, but in our work toward, as a West Valley City Group, of making the West Valley a good place to live. So I'd like to say thank you to you all again for what you have doing. We also made great strides at the legislature to help eradicate the salt cedars along the Gila River, and I'm sorry that Senator Kerr had to go, but I can't read fast enough to match her schedule. House Bill 2580 and Senate Bill 1450 are companion bills. They appropriate $5 million annually in grant money in fiscal years 2020 and 2021 from the state's general fund. This is a statewide bipartisan effort, statewide, not just for Buckeye, statewide. Our thanks to Representative Osborne, Representative Dunn, Fernandez and Pittman, Senators Kerr, Otondo, Allen, and Pratt for their support and sponsorship for these two very important bills. These bills just don't help Buckeye. They do not just help Buckeye. This is a statewide issue and will benefit many cities with the state salt cedar challenges that we all face. Salt cedars are all over the state of Arizona. They're in other states. But this bill that was carried by our representatives and senators this last probably 2 to 3 months, if I may say, I will tell you we have never had a group of legislators in the Buckeye area, all the way from Yuma to Goodyear. This is the best group that we have ever had that works with the city. So again, thank you all for what you are doing. So as you can see, we have our work cut out for us in the coming years. We've also done a tremendous job getting Buckeye to where we are today, on a road to a successful future. The ancient Greek philosopher Socrates said it best. The secret to change is to focus all of your energy, not on fighting the old, but on building the new. I am confident this city council and the Buckeye city management have the passion, dedication, and commitment to continue moving us in the right direction, building and improving our city services while preserving our heritage in the process. When I was a kid, Buckeye was a fabulous place to grow up. Buckeye is an even better place to raise a family. We now have the best of both worlds. The newest technology and latest trends combined with family-friendly events that celebrates our past. The Buckeye in my day was great. The Buckeye now is fantastic. The Buckeye of tomorrow is destined to be incredible. And as always, Buckeye is open for business. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Thank you all very, very, very much. God bless you.